nationwide. Nigeria ranks among the top countries globally with the highest number of individuals who lack access to proper sanitation facilities. The stats look grim. The overriding effect in itself can be terrible to our general well-being. In that light, we from Mainland 98.3 FM call on the government to increase its effort in providing public toilets to end this scourge. And we also encourage the citizenry to imbibe proper hygiene and not defecate in public.
What about sunrise? What about rain? What about all the things that you said we were to gain? Hey, hey, hey,
Very good evening to you. Welcome to the Situation Room live on Mainland 98.3 FM, where we are the sound of Lagos, and as such would always provide you the platform to have a conversation with us every Monday to Fridays from 4 to 5:30 p.m. 90 straight minutes of conversation around politics, leadership, governance, accountability within this public space, the politics, like my friend Dr. Darakade would always say. Well, and I'm talking about Dr. Darakade. He's up to something. I've been following his space for a while, and he's the man that understands how these things work. And I may be ahead of the local government election in Lagos in 2025. Well, I would certainly throw all of my support to him in however way he wants it. He's been a friend of the house. The early days of this program, he was one of those people that was always available to help me get settled in on this space. Thank you very much, Dr. Darakade. In case you're listening to me, and I wish you the very best of everything as you make those your political plans. Well, my name is Ōkpeyēmī Akínyẹ̀dé, and it's always my pleasure to come up here every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, Wednesdays is always Sage Babalola because of midweek politics 1 to 3 p.m. But of course, when we would come in, especially on Thursdays like this, it means we have the privilege to have my guest, or let me say my studio analyst for Thursdays now, Mr. Mᴜyɪᴏᴜ Adɪryɪᴏ, the chief political editor of Guardian newspaper with over 30 years experience in covering political conversations around governance, leadership generally. There was a day we were having a conversation off air, and then he told me how close he was to the personal physician of the late Moshood Kashima Olawale Abiola, how he was in the room that fateful day where the body of the former business mogul, and they call him the pillar of sports, by the way, talking about MKO, was brought in for burial. Mr. Mᴜyɪᴏ, could you help me move away a little from your radio set? Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
I'm struggling to hear you. Maybe I'll just try and connect back to you real quick. Okay. Mr. Mᴜyɪᴏ joins us, like I said, every Thursdays to look at issues that has to do with leadership, nation development, state of the nation, security generally. And they will always do that together. It's what during midweek politics yesterday, the news broke that the High Court in Abuja had instructed the central bank not to release funds for the Rivers State government, and I think a lot of people had some misinterpretation about the government. It's it has nothing to do with the local government election that was conducted in the state in September. It was basically a case of the governor presents his 2024 budget proposal too. Remember when these by the way, the successor was made public, talking about the immediate past governor of Rivers State, that's Ɪṛsᴛᴜᴛ Wike, and the current governor of the state, Governor Sɪᴛᴜᴜ. So it was exactly 1 year yesterday. Remember when the House of Assembly complex was destroyed. They said it was bombed overnight, so they had to move the sitting of the honorables to a different location within the government house. And that was where the whole drama started. The governor came out openly that he was attacked, and then people started asking questions. Who are the people in your cabinet? Then we later found out that 90% of the cabinet of Governor Fᴜᴜ at the start of his administration were people loyal to the former governor, were people that served under the cabinet of the former governor, and these were people that constantly, publicly express their loyalty to Ɪṛsᴛᴜᴛ Wike. I remember the removed commissioner for justice and attorney general of Rivers State was on TV saying, you know what, I'm loyal to Wike, and that's where my loyalty is. And you're serving under a different cabinet, commissioners, even the chief security officer to the governor was reportedly appointed by the former governor, and that was when things started falling apart. We don't know how long it has been falling, but I think it finally became a public issue on that fateful day, on the 30th of October 2023. That was when the Rivers State House of Assembly was bombed, and then it became a lot of issues. From then on, the decision of the 26 House of Assembly members to leave they said that initially they didn't leave the PDP. Initially they said, they didn't declare to see the current FCT minister. They had the APC flag with them. Okay, those are the issues that are popped up in Rivers State, and it has snowballed into a space where even the court had to give a judgment that, hey, you have to withhold allocation going to Rivers State. So it's basically saying that the state that is producing the resources, that is fetching us money, will not be permitted to partake in that resources or the proceed of that resources. You know how key Rivers State is when it comes to oil production in this country. So it has brought in a whole lot of drama around it, and the biggest had to be the local government election, where on the instruction of the governor, 23 members or candidate of the PDP in the election defected to the APP, and then they won the election, 22 of them. So the APP cleared 22 of the 23 local governments in Rivers State. So it became an issue of, is the APP now the party of the governor in proxy? That's the question. There was a time I had the former chief press secretary to Governor Dili. He also served 2 times as commissioner for information and commissioner for housing under Ɪṛsᴛᴜᴛ Wike. He was on the show one time, and he was talking about the fact that, whether we agree that APP is the proxy party of Governor Fᴜᴜ or not, you have to find happiness. You have to go to a place where you feel loved and accepted from a party that does not even have a state secretariat as such. Now became the party that has 22 of the 23 local governments in the state. So the APC is holding forth in Rivers State. The PDP is the party of the governor, and then there's the APP. So it has brought in a whole lot of issues. Well, the governor tried to play smart, tried to play hard, tried to talk tough. I have a couple of sound bites here that I would use on the show today at different times of this conversation. But again, yesterday, while we were on midweek politics, the judgment broke that the CBN had been instructed not to release allocation to Rivers State, not just local government allocation, but the entire state, because the governor had been instructed, or a court judgment had been, issued that the governor should recognize the 26 House of Assembly members and represent the 2024 budget to them. Other states are already presenting 2025 budgets. I saw that of Ekiti State, I think yesterday or thereabouts. Governor Abiodun has already presented a budget appropriation to the State House of Assembly, but Rivers State is still dealing with, do we have a budget? Do we have the constitutional rights, obligation to present a budget to a four House members? Remember, when the budget was presented, I think about 800 billion or thereabouts, if I'm not mistaken. There were 4 members sitting: the fractional speaker, the leader of the House, the clerk of the House, and the majority leader of the House. Just 4 of them. Governor Fubara presented the appropriation, the budget proposal to the House. It was approved the same day, and the following day, the governor signed it into law, and it was made public. Less than 24 hours, 4 House of Assembly members. So the last 15-16 months or thereabouts has really been tough for Governor Fubara. A lot of people have said, oh, he's going to survive it. A lot of people feel, oh, he's beating more than he can chew. And both of them have been talking tough. Nyesom Wike is even warning other governors that if they interfere in what is going on in Rivers, he's going to send fire to their states. It's been a whole lot. But like I said, a year ago, exactly yesterday, the whole thing that was cooking under the table was brought right to the table. And since then, it's been reversed today for one reason or the other. For good reasons, bad reasons, you just never can tell. Asarido Kubo was on news over the weekend. He's been on the news back to back now. And he made a statement that if Fubara is impeached or removed, something will happen. And he repeated it, something will happen. Let me play you that soundbite real quick. But before then, let me allow Mr. Mᴜyɪᴡ and me sink his teeth into this conversation. Mr. Mᴜyɪᴡ, it's another Thursday, and it's my pleasure to have you join us on the show today as usual. Thank you for always making yourself available.
So thank you, Okoyemi, and a good evening to our listeners.
It's exactly 1 year, 1 day today that, let me put it in the street language. They said, what we don't want the father to hear, father will settle it eventually. Exactly 1 year and 1 day today that the State House of Assembly in Rivers, the House of Assembly complex was bombed overnight, and by the following days it was declared not fit to be used by human beings. So they had to move the sitting of the House to a different hall within the House, the Rivers State Government House. Talk to us about that process, and before we even start talking of the consequences of everything that is happening in Rivers State, how worried should we all be with all of the things that are unfolding in Rivers as we speak?
Well, thank you. I think it marked a year of that macabre drama. I think when the political crisis in Rivers State was known to the general public. Though shortly after swearing in of the governor, Fubara, on May 29, there were rumors going around the town that I think both of them, Wike and Fubara, were on the coalition course. But I think nobody could believe that why would a godfather and godson in less than a month, I think he had a befitting, beautiful swearing in, would be fighting each other. So, but why the public knew nothing about what was going on, exactly the midnight of October 30th, there was a loud bang in the streets. I think that brought down the whole of our assembly complex. Though the public at least didn't know what happened, but the political actors knew that was the beginning of a prolonged political crisis in the state. And by the time they got to know what was happening, it was very daddy that the assembly wanted to sit, I think, and begin impeachment process
against the governor,
which was just about nearly 5 months in office. So I think from that day, October 30th, 2023, it has been 1 week, one wahala, one trouble in Rivers State. Shortly after that, the governor now said, well, the place is not that seat again for them to sit. so that the assembly had to come and sit inside the government house. The managers who wanted to impeach him to come and sit inside the class. I think that the place is now due for rehabilitation. So meaning that those lawmakers have to, apart from taken out of the, I think, assembly complex to perform their functions, having the place destroyed, even the official quarters for rehabilitation. So we understand what actually was going on. Since then, the assembly has been polarized. Forgetting we have 32 members of the assembly. One resigned to become the chief of staff to the governor, and one actually died, so making 30. So, but in that 30, we have 4 rooting for the governor, while the remaining, I think, for Governor Wike. Well, we've seen the crisis going on, and whether we like it or not, this 1 year is an opportunity again for people to look, to count their losses as a state and as individuals. And people are already lamenting what else have happened, what they're supposed to have done, even the kind of what has eluded the state. Let me tell you this. If you see the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, I think in the Q1, that is first quarter of this year, when they're thinking of the Nigeria capital importation, looking at FDI, that is foreign direct investment, it was discovered that it was 0% in the first quarter of this year. That no foreigner came to do any new business. And whereas Lagos had 82%, turning to about $2.7 billion. We have per capita territory having $503 million as a foreign direct investment. And in Ekiti, having $12,450. Those are 3 states that had. Whereas, meaning that for the fourth quarter of 2024, no foreign investment came to the state. Even if you want to look at it according to the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, between June 2023 and June this year, the River State attracted only $6 million
in a whole year.
Compared to Ogun, $33 million. Akwabo, that almost far from River State, at $150 million. Abia, $2.859 billion. And the Lagos State having about $5.9 billion for June 2023 and 2024. What are we saying? Because of the crisis there, you don't see even apart from foreigners. Tell me any Nigerians, unless you get government contracts, which of course are not going to lose, but you are going to invest your personal money in River State. I think for almost since October last year, I think that the thing zone open to everybody. So the crisis has scared people away. It has affected not only foreign direct investment, the job opportunities. It has affected the ease of doing business. So it has affected life. It has affected social life of individuals, because 2 individuals were struggling for the resources of the state. Because to go down to the basics of why were they fighting is for the control of the pulse of that particular state.
True.
So I think it is a setback. I think to our democracy. I think it's a setback to us as Nigerians that how should 2 individuals owning over 6 or 5 million people of River State into ransom, and as you said during your establishing protocol for this program, we know how much Nigeria is generating from River State. That's the headquarters of all our multinational oil oil companies. That's where they are operating from. So if political crisis could not be resolved since October last year, even it was even getting worse than escalating beyond what anybody could begin to imagine. That people are now asking, man, how and who will bring peace to Rivers State? So the last year has been so traumatic, not only the government, but even the people of that state. And whether we like it or not, the crime going on must have been responsible to Nigeria's inability to fill our quota. I think at OPEC. Because whether we like it or not, you are drilling oil from that place. And the crisis here now, something must have affected people, whether onshore or offshore, and they're trying to get your oil where Nigeria makes money. So it's not only the people that have been affected by this, I think, crisis, but the whole country called Nigeria. So we have been a year of show of shame. It has been a 1 year of inability of the country to play by the rule of the game. And this is a 1 year of telling us that perhaps somebody somewhere benefiting from this crisis is only looking at it from what his party or his government will gain, but not from the angle of what the country is losing and the dangers ahead.
Now, we all admit that the dangers ahead are really big, and this is what I mean. When the former, the late President Mᴜyɪᴡᴜᴜ Aᴅᴇɪ came up yes, one of the things he did was to bring up the issue of amnesty, just to bring some calmness and some logic or development to the Niger Delta region. And after then, he also brought up he also created the Ministry of Niger Delta for obvious reasons, to take care of some of the agitations of the people of that region. Niger Delta state has covering Akwa Ibom, Rivers, Cross Rivers, Edo State, a part of Ondo State also, because they fall under the NDDC, and and Rivers State also. But it looks like the problem of that particular region, or vis-a-vis River State, is more political than the economical issues that people are facing. Let me play you something that Asarido Kubo said. Mr. Mᴜyɪᴡᴜ, I want you to stay on the line and listen to this audio. It's a very short one. When we come out, we'll ask ourselves, they say when two elephants are fighting, the grass would always suffer. In this case, why is the president keeping quiet with all of the things that are going on in River State, and is looking like the state is going to be consumed by all of these political dramas? Because non-state actors are beginning to talk tough. The Niger Delta funds are also saying, hey, if it continues like this, the boys will go back into the creeks. The leaders of the region, Chief Edwin Clark, had also come out to say that the president needs to call to order his minister, that is Barrister Sɪᴛᴜᴜ. But listen to what Asarido Kubo said, and I'll be right back.
What I'm trying to say, and it's very clear, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu becoming president, I should be able to tell him the truth. And what is happening in Rivers State, where President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is supporting Nyesom Wike to destabilize Rivers State, to disturb the peace of Rivers State. And as a stakeholder in Rivers State, I feel disappointed, totally disappointed, for the president to allow his minister serving under him to run amok, procure judgments, and all sorts, threatening the people of Rivers State, because what they are trying to do is, we are going to remove FOBRA and nothing will happen. And I'm saying that if you remove FOBRA, something will happen. If you try to remove FOBRA, something will happen.
Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us, man, there is nothing, we are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join Ōkpeyèmí Akínyòdé as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial mainland 98.3 FM. We'll welcome you, roommates, as we discuss the situations.
Mr. Mᴜyìᴡso, I mean, whether state actor, non-state actor, stakeholders, gladiators, interest, nobody can rule out how influential Asari Dokubo is when it comes to the issue of the Niger Delta. But he's talking now, and this was the same man that drummed support, mobilized massively for the election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now he's saying, you know what? If you remove Fubara, something will happen. Should we start feeling worried about what is going on in Rivers State, Mr. Mᴜyìᴡso? And let us look at the consequences of all of these, especially in the economic development of the people of that state. I've been privileged to get to Rivers a few times, and I can tell you for a fact, the same thing with Bayelsa. There's a lot of environmental issues that the people of those states are facing as a result of oil exploration that have polluted their waters, made it almost impossible for them to fish or farm, which is their principal source of income. And on top of all of this, the allocation to Rivers State had also been withheld on the instruction of the court by the CBN. That means there's almost nothing the state will survive on. Is it time for the gladiators to call themselves to order, or you think we'll still see a whole lot more coming front?
I think this is another second phase of the battle. Because when you are still fighting, the actors are fighting between themselves, and you have not tried to cripple, I think the economy completely, the life wire of the state. And what is the life wire? If you stop the allocation, I think all the states, certainly it's like I say, you are snuffing life out of not only the government but the people. I don't see River State with the kind of challenges they have here, and they are surviving on their IGR. And secondly, with the way things are going, the allocation to the council also might be stopped, not only to the state. The allocation to the local councils also might be stopped. And if you now look at what is going on, you know, number one, what I want our people to understand is, without senseless, let's talk art politics here. I'm not talking of morality now. I'm talking of politics. Politics. You find democracy on structure, and the democracy lies on the rule of law. There's only principles that you can't bring morality into it in democracy, because you have to follow the law. What does law say? The court has at now said that it's recognizing the 27-member House of Assembly, and that House said Fubara should represent the budget passed by 4 members. So that's where the big crisis is now. If Fubara should present that budget to the 4 members, you know the implication. So it's like asking him to be probed. Because the first thing they will say is that by the law of the land, you cannot spend more than 6 months without approval.
Yes.
And we are now in the 8th or 9th month. And they will query all the expenditure. We are already now, we have finished Q3. We are already in Q4. Do you understand? So they have spent money And then you begin to wonder, all of us can easily guess what's going to be the disposition of this 27-member assembly to that particular budget, right? Now, if there are people in the sense of law, they are no longer members of assembly because they have declared that they are no longer member of the PDP. Yes, sir. But people will tell you right now that which court declared their seat vacant. Yes, sir. Can you just do that? And I want people to also understand one thing. We are talking of that of Lagos State. When President Obasanjo stopped allocation of Lagos State, it's not the same thing to what Lagos State is facing.
Yes.
President Tinubu did that. President Obasanjo did that by executive fiat. You understand? But Scholar said he does not have that power to do that. Right? But the result that now say that because you have not got appropriation approved, you can no longer spend money. You understand? And urging the CBN to do that. There are two different things. The issue that I want to contest is that does the court have the power to say so or to do so? Let's see what appeal court. They go to appeal. We do. But if they are able to get the state of execution from appeal, right? Let's see the matter will get to the Supreme Court. The matter of this. I'm sure they will grant this accelerated hearing. So there are two different things. You know, and I'm saying we are discussing politics. You now begin to work about discussing politics, okay? At the first game of number. Tell me, what stops Governor Fubara, this politics, to allow Wike to hold on to 27 lawmakers for over a year? I'm telling you, I'm not discussing last year now. I'm discussing politics and politics. One of our leaders in politics here in Nigeria said something. That what money cannot do, more money will do it. Right? What did Wike is giving them? That we cannot break their ranks. Since this, we go to 4 lawmakers out of 27. People, there's no one that want to support democracy at least. Any Democrat. Because it's a game. Yeah, we're talking about now. Now, if you say you are not comfortable with 4 lawmakers and you are expecting when the court will declare their seat vacant, listen, some people will tell you when this guy in Anambra, YPP senator in Anambra, Uba,
yes,
let YPP to decamp
to the Progressive Congress.
Did they lose the seat?
No.
We have people that decamped now from Labour Party. Another member, I think a member that left Labour Party, not in whatever, that went to APC. Have we lost the seat?
No.
So people will tell you that in Nigeria people cross carpet without losing their seat. And many have lost their seat. I'm not saying people have not, or people will not lose their seat. But the court that will declare that one, not court, not you and I, is the court that will declare that because you have done this, you have lost your seat. And which court has not done up till now. So that is one of the problems they are facing. Listen, Fubara is getting support of the masses. But as it is now, it's very difficult to defend the seat in the face of the law. Yes, like the company is saying that they cannot remove it. You cannot say that only by threat. Court will decide based on the evidences and the people argue before the judge. Right? And on this matter now, during the case, the different states withdrew his defense application was submitted. You understand? Which made appeal court to do what he did. So let's say how to go to after the Supreme Court. If Supreme Court says he must do that, he has to comply. Unless they will stop the allocation. I'm telling you the truth. Then I know the people are sorry when it was declared wanted. I think about Obasanjo, I went to meet him in Colombia. I know his mind. I know his ability and capability. I cannot underestimate him. But certainly he cannot fight this. He cannot fight this state. And if they fight this matter with the strength of declaring no emergency, who is going to be the loser? So the thing I'm saying is that footballers should also up his game as a politician. I'm telling you the truth. He should up his game as a politician. You cannot say you are that office because of a politician. So you cannot claim to be a politician. He should up his game as a politician. But by and large, it's better for the government to look into political solutions to some of this crisis. President Tinubu should not underestimate the dangers ahead. When the problem started in the western region in 1964-65, it was seen to be a western region at years.
Until it consumed everybody.
So, until it consumed everybody, their lives. Right? And we don't pray such happen. But we must, people will tell you in Yoruba proverb, somebody bá ṣubú, awájú, somebody bá ṣubú, awọ́yìn. Meaning that you have to look at the history. Let's look at the trajectory of our political journey. Why we fail, why the First Republic failed. Are we not treading the same path now? Because you cannot underestimate all these matters in the Niger Delta. The impact on the economic of the country. If the issue of the crisis, listen, we know it, so they demonstrated it. So the president himself can look at the political solution to this matter. Yes, some people will argue that the president has caught the gladiators in this battle, both Fubara and Wike, that we signed agreement. But the government came out and said that it was whatever President Zuma had done, they say now that he did it in favor of Wike. And quite unfortunate. It is true. I'm not saying that, but it is true. So if the president has intervened, and the government said it was not in the interest of the state and its government, then there's nothing wrong for the Mr. again. Other leaders that are political that will not bring them together to go and find solution to the state crisis. We have many credible state leaders. People like JᴏɪR Oᴘᴇyᴇ should not be only interested in signing peace document for election. People like Bishop Kuka, should not be only interested in making people to sign a peace agreement for election. But they should also be interested in sustaining, maintaining our democracy. So we get credible leaders. We have plenty of them in the country that can look at this dispassionately and resolve the crisis. If we are saying we are going legal and somebody has the power and capacity to get judiciary to do his bidding, then the other person can stay in the creek. Do not stand and been throwing arrows into the town. The Palestinian matter is an issue to us. Israel had all the equipment whatever to fight the war, but there have never been peace in the Middle East. Do not stand. So if we can have all the power to win all the cases in court, but people also have the right to react legally or otherwise. So I'm saying president, should not just allow this one to continue going this way. Because I see judgment also coming against the local government, because if you look at all the ministries. I'm not a lawyer, but I don't know how the governor can win this matter of stopping the allocation at the Supreme Court. I don't know. And I don't see how Rivers State can survive on its idea like Lagos State. People don't know that what did happen in Lagos State here? What negotiators face, people in Rivers State cannot stand it. That's where they tell all this land use act, land use charge that start taxing everything in Lagos State. And people in Lagos State used to be paying tax. It's not all police companies have been giving up those things. We used to go to Lagos State and be levying them as we've been done in Lagos. We used to introduce the kind of laws that made last month to be making business for the state, VRO, and could be making those. Can we introduce such laws in Abia State and in Rivers State? Could you make some laws where even to park in Lagos, you pay through your nose? Will you do that in Lagos? Can you do that in Rivers State? So what I'm saying is that I don't see Rivers surviving on Nigeria or increasing the tax beyond the capacity of people can pay, and the cripple the government and the economy of that state. They will react, and their reaction will have impact on the economy of the country. None of that we know. So I think, and I hope somebody is listening to us to give message to President that it should look more than what he's doing. Where we recognize that he has done something, it's not work, we will continue as the leader of the country and as the father of the country. Set up our delegation. Look at the people that are respected in the country. Let them intervene. Encourage them. Let them establish bureaucracies. This is what human beings. They are not animals. They are not from other countries. They know themselves. But this thing should not continue its going. If not, your game is as good as mine.
Mr. Mowa, before we leave Rivers, just in a minute or two, a lot of people have talked about political solutions to this problem. A lot of people have also said, hey, Mr. President is not meddling into an affair that has to do with the party. Wike is a member of the PDP. He said he took permission from the leaders of the PDP to serve in this cabinet. Governor Fᴜᴜ, as of today, won the election on the platform of the PDP and is still a member of the PDP. However, a lot of people have also said that both the PDP and the APC in the state is under the control of the immediate past governor of the state. Do you think any political solutions would work here, or is it about allowing the court or charging the court to be responsible with some of the judgment that they are given? As at the last count, Mr. Adeyemi, there are about 19 court cases surrounding or having to do with political issues in Rivers State alone. 19 court cases, which is really disturbing. Do you think any political solution can end all of these, or it's about the judiciary doing the right thing?
Yes, when I'm talking about political matter, right? Judiciary comes in when we told judiciary we have problems. Sometimes, and judiciary will look it from the point of law. But we are talking about something that is deeper than the point of law now. If there is a solution to this matter, and both Wike and Fᴜᴜ say we have withdrawn the case from the court, what will judiciary do? Who's going to point? The point I'm making is that, as I already said, both PDP and APC, they are the hand of Wike now. As the state and national president of PDP, he is under the control of Wike.
I mean, as speculated.
Not speculated. you know that the party is polarized. Do you know that National Assembly members have said that they cannot continue with Damagun that's being controlled by UK? Have you forgotten?
Yes.
Have you forgotten that the government forum also have tried to make state against Damagun? They tried to remove him, bring another caretaker, do a fact, UK and Co. has given a court injunction that as the acting chairman, he cannot be removed on the 25th December. When I go to have a convention. And the duty is this government that suspended, after the tenure of the PDP expo in Rivers State, that in other states, they allowed that expo to transmit to becoming the technical committee pending the election.
But in Rivers, they removed.
They removed them, right? And they bringing people loyal to Wike, which made footballers athletes. So footballer has now control of PDP as it is in the Rivers State now. He does not have a say in the national as it is, Damagun. In the state also, the caretaker chairman of APC in the state is under the control of Wike Naiboy. Everybody knowing. So if Wike has the two parties with his hand, and his boss, the president, is not calling him to go, we are resolving this matter politically, Wike cannot say no to Mr. President. He's not done. He's having under him. But I'm saying that, I'm not saying that he should just intervene like that. And you seem to have been dispassionate in your approach to it. Constitutes credible Nigerians that are not artisans to lead a serious discussion with the actors and come out with solutions. We are human beings. No matter how well we feel we can be, we will still come back to Georgia.
True.
So no matter any war, we'll see end of the table. We'll see end of the table. Why can't they resolve this matter and allow the country to be? At least we have no problems in our hands. Than to have this. Get over a year. And after that 1 year, you know the secretariat, the blown the blown properties. The national, the state assembly now, you were saying it's going to take about 19 billion to rebuild. Yes. Now the secretariat of about 5 or 6 local governments, no doubt that the true bomb act to rebuild those secretariats will cost how much? Whose money? No, whose money? So we are saying that the investors are having away from the state. Who are suffering it? Are they not the masses? The IGR is dropping. The FBI zero. River State. After Lagos State is River State when it comes to FBI. So if the answer they have no zero, and we are not saying that the average should be there. So that's why we are saying don't look at the political legal aspect of it. At least as a politician. That's what we use. Because if we go all legal for it, no problem. And we know where the thing will go. But others will have to. And they don't underestimate anybody when it comes to this kind of reaction. Yes, the state has the monopoly of violence. So they think. But remember, the people of the Niger Delta, where Port Harcourt has this first Nigerian government will stand still. That Obasanjo government as a state could not
that region.
From that region. That's why Jonathan came and what call it? Solution that no, we cannot continue with this kinetic approach to it. No, that I mean, through dialogue, through give and take on now, I think it's intimate, right? That is what we are talking about. The Israel do have followed was just footstep. What do you think would have happened by now in the country? Because the people fought share the stand that up to now there was not exploration in their land.
True.
You have to go to this creek
to understand what they're going through.
Yes. There was one chief of naval staff that said it's difficult terrain to penetrate. If you're not on that area and you travel there, it's truly difficult to penetrate. I was in Tombia. Yes, I was in Tombia. And I knew what it is to penetrate some of these schools. So people are thinking here that you can just sit down and fight these people. How many of them? Is it a part of the land? The party we are talking of the land. How are we able to defeat Boko Haram in Sambisa?
Not to talk of the one you want to go and fight on water.
Remember when your aeroplane was about landing in Adamawa, Maiduguri, you pass through this Sambisa. So you see the whole of Sambisa from the airplane. Yes, we cannot defeat them. Suppose we will fight through that water.
Mr. Adeyemi, Sambisa is 2 times the size of Wales.
Yes.
2 times the size of Wales. That's Sambisa Forest.
Yes. But you see, you're family. You understand? When you see it. But the battle we're talking about is not what you see. It's kind of like this. It's under the water. It's under the water. It's under the water. So that we can avoid this crisis. That's the point we are making here. We can avoid this if you do what you're supposed to do at the right time. You know what I'm saying? If true, matters in court, but if we resolve our matter and we went to court to withdraw the case, what will judge sit on?
Nothing.
Nothing now. We resolve our matter. We are brothers, we are politicians. We have the interest of this country attacked. We have the interest of our people attacked. So we are resolve our matter. The court will, at the world, we can talk about the consenting judgment. We are going to draft, and the court will sign it. But the way the matter is going, well, I think we pray that God will intervene, and the God will intervene, and for Nigeria to continue as we're getting what we are getting from the natural resources.
Mr. Adeyemi, we're due for break by 5 o'clock, so I would need to let you go, but I want to appeal to you that please, on the turn of 5, I would like to call you back briefly. The president announced the appointment of an acting chief of army staff yesterday. Remember, there's been a lot of concerns about the whereabouts and the health status of maybe I can say immediate past chief of army staff, but as it is now, there were speculations last week about his health, and then the information department of the Nigerian Army actually released a statement that there's nothing wrong, he's only on medical leave. But don't forget that on the 1st of October at the Independence Day celebration at the Eagle Square in Abuja, the chief of army staff was absent, and that is absolutely unusual, especially when you have the president on seat. It has raised a lot of concerns, and yesterday the presidency announced the appointment of an acting chief of army staff. When we come back on the turn of 5 o'clock, Mr. Mᴜyɪᴡ, you will talk to us about the implications of that particular decision and where we should go from, especially in the face of all of the issues that we're facing, renewed hostility coming from the bandits and the terrorists, power installation being tampered with, being destroyed, that threw the north into total darkness for 6 days. Some part of the region just started getting electricity late yesterday and early this morning. We're going to come talk about all of that when we come back. acting chief of army staff. Have you heard of that before? Stay with us, Mr. Mᴜyɪᴡᴜ. I have to reconnect with you on the turn of 5 o'clock.
All right.
Thank you.
Follow us on all our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM, on Twitter at Mainland FM. We are the sound of Lagos.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. The sound of Lagos.
Hey there! Yes, you! You just won 5,000 Naira cash! And you, sitting by the side, there's 1 month Showmax subscription to watch the Premier League waiting for you! You behind! Of course! You're not left out! How does 1,000 Naira airtime and 2,000 Naira Uber discount sound? All this could come true when you buy the No Unwrap and Win pack. Open it, look for a cube with a 6-digit code on its wrapper, text the code to 8011 and follow the prompts to stand a chance to win any of these instant prizes. Promo valid from July till December. Terms and conditions apply. Get extra value on the No Unwrap and Win pack. No, eat for good.
Open defecation in Nigeria perpetuates a cycle of poor health, environmental degradation, and undermines human dignity. With approximately 47 million people practicing open defecation nationwide, Nigeria ranks among the top countries globally with the highest number of individuals who lack access to proper sanitation facilities. The stats look grim. The overriding effect in itself can be terrible to our general well-being. In that light, we from Mainland 98.3 FM call on the government to increase its efforts in providing public toilets to end this scourge. And we also encourage the citizenry to imbibe proper hygiene and not defecate in public.
What about sunrise? What about rain? What about all the things that you said?
Hey there! Yes, you! You just won 5,000 Naira cash! And you, sitting by the side, there's 1 month Showmax subscription to watch the Premier League waiting for you! You behind! Of course! You're not left out! How does 1,000 Naira airtime and 2,000 Naira Uber discount sound? All this could come true when you buy the No Unwrap and Win pack. Open it, look for a cube with a 6-digit code on its wrapper, text the code to 8011 and follow the prompts to stand a chance to win any of these instant prizes. Promo valid from July till December. Terms and conditions apply. Get extra value on the No Unwrap and Win pack. No, eat for good.
Gender equality is a human rights issue. It is about ensuring that everyone, regardless of their gender, has the same opportunities, rights, and protections. Challenging stereotypes, breaking down barriers, and creating a more inclusive society where everyone is treated with respect and dignity is a collective responsibility. Gender disparities start out small, in homes and communities, and these harmful gender norms progress and are perpetuated at the highest levels. In some countries, they become entrenched in laws and policies that violate the rights of individuals because of their gender. Discriminatory teaching practices and education materials also produce gender gaps in learning and skills development. Let us stand up for gender equality, support each other, and strive for a world where everyone can thrive and reach their full potential.
there! Yes, you! You just won 5,000 naira cash! And you, sitting by the side, there's 1 month Showmax subscription to watch the Premier League waiting for you! You behind! Of course! You're not left out! How does 1,000 naira airtime and 2,000 naira Uber discount sound? All this could come true when you buy the No Unwrap and Win pack. Open it, look for a cube with a 6-digit code on its wrapper, text the code to 8011 and follow the prompts to stand a chance to win any of these instant prizes. Promo valid from July till December. Terms and conditions apply. Get extra value on the No Unwrap and Win pack. No, eat for good.
Clock the time. Rock the groove. It's music extravaganza, where the beat gets hotter. Mainland 98.3. Baby, let's go. The sound of Lagos.
Pain seems anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us now, there is nothing, we are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join 광괜ᴜ Akinode as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial. Mainland 98.3 FM will welcome you roommates as we discuss the situations.
Thank you very much and welcome back. And thank you very much, Mr. Mᴜyíᴡ, for staying on the line with us as we try to wrap up the conversation. But yesterday, it was reported that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed Major General Olufemi Olatubosun Oluyede as the new acting Chief of Army Staff. I mean, he would hold sway for the Chief of Army Staff as the Chief of Army Staff, rather, pending the return of Lieutenant General Tᴏɪᴜ Oᴘᴇyᴜ from medical leave. Mr. Adeyemi, let's talk about this real quick so that we can pick the calls. The security challenges we have in the country at the moment requires that everyone saddled with the responsibility of keeping this country safe. We need to be on their toes, we need to be alive, we need to be active, and we need to be responsive as well. Sometimes proactive even rather than being reactive. We're seeing cases of renewed hostility in the northeast, in the northwest, and the issues in the north central. It's just like we're putting paper over cracks. The killings are still going on. On the plateau 2 weeks ago, our communities were attacked. People were killed in Benue on Saturday last week as well. There were reports of some farmers being killed in a farm. It's just been a whole lot of issues. But now we have an acting Chief of Army Staff. Is this unusual, Mr. Miwa, or you think it's a case of necessity for the president to have someone there pending when Lieutenant General Lagbaja would return to the country?
Well, I think I prefer to go with the letter that I think it's necessary to have somebody there. And let me quickly say this. I think we know the history of the Chief of Army Staff. Lieutenant General Lagbaja. Yeah, he was a fine, gentle officer that had done the country, and he's proud. I think because people knew his exploits. I think during Kaduna, Abuja, when all these bandits took over, start arguing that even we can't drive, we can't do anything, and that is how I think he personally led the squad to root those guys away from that area. So what I'm saying is that the man, I think, is a gentle officer that we should be just be praying for. He's human. Don't understand whether he's on medical leave or he went on an excursion or whatever, but he's human. And nobody, we have not seen any superwoman anywhere in the world. So we are human beings. So I think if the president can go on medical leave, if you and I at times take times off to look after our health. So if you have been working hard for the country and you need some days to go and rest or whatever. So I think we should, just understand that with it. But the whole Nigeria is an institution. I think a very respected institution for that matter. So which I think all of us, I think we have been so proud of them. And the need of encouragement for what they have been able to achieve. I think those five challenges they are facing here and there. So if Mr. President sees that, I think the Chief of Army Staff is going on vacation, it's an institution. So which goes beyond an individual. So that Major General Oluwatomisun Oluyede, I think should continue acting till he comes back. I don't see anything that anybody should be concerned about. Nobody should raise any eyebrow about that one. So I think if soldier goes, soldier comes, barrack remains. So but if when he comes back, we pray for him, he comes back. So if he comes back, we take over and continue. You understand? It's an institution. So that if you are not around now, I think that's how we know that somebody should have to continue the program to stand in for you. So let's just view in that regard. You understand? Let's just view in that regard. And let's now, I think if anything now, let us know that the army is well organized and the army is very organized. I think with high discipline and whatever we say, I think let's just respect that institution for what it is. Because my brother, it's not easy. I think for people to say they are laying down their lives, I think for others. I'm telling you, I know many of our people, I think that they joined army. So when they ask them to go to Liberia, they run back home. So I think for some people who are there, I think let's just encourage them. So let's respect that institution. I think as Nigerians, you know what, let's do something. Nigerians should know that the army, whether Navy or Air Force, they deserve a lot of respect from us. I'm telling you the truth. There was a day, I think I went to Akwa, and I was to leave the first flight with 𝐴𝐵. So I was number one. It was first flight, I think around 7 a.m. or thereabouts. So I was number one on the queue. And immediately I saw these 6 officers came in. They also wanted to fly. You know what? They didn't press me. I shifted. I said they should pass. You understand? And when they passed, and some people came behind me and said, how am I? You know, I mean, guys, you don't know what you are talking about. But you know what it is. Even these guys were so civilized, they didn't ask me to do that for them. Right? They just came, stood there, right? But I said, please, okay, you can go, sir. And some of them passed and they shook me. And that's how we should treat them. And that's how I've been treating them as a person. You understand? Because I cannot imagine a society in Nigeria where you don't have them. So anything concerning them, yes, we do criticize them where we expected more. But when it comes to the issue of a person now being perhaps indisposed or medical vacation, please let's give that respect. Let's pray for him that he come back and continue his work, and then let's pray for the man, the General Oluyede, that is now the Oluyede. Let's pray for him that they continue their work. I think to keep Nigeria safe. You know, there's some people who don't wish Nigeria well. That's where we get to the issue of what we're talking about, these challenges. But some people are there now and they are having this kind of a woman nature coming into it. Please, let's give that respect and continue to pray for them, and continue to support them, continue to wish all of them well. So I think that's how we love us to treat this particular matter. So President has acted well to make sure that that decision continue at least to function as expected. And we pray that they should continue to function as expected. So that's my reaction to that.
Thank you. I just wanted to lead this morning. I engage a couple of people.
Some guys in social media, you understand? You know what? Let's do something. We are talking about this own media, right? So what is the level of people that understand when we are talking of security, when we are talking of governing a nation? Yes, people have the opportunity to speak once you have opportunity to buy your 310 or Android. Yes,
and you're free MB.
Yes, and you have data. So you continue comment on what they know nothing about. Do that, and that's why you see when you see these guys, with secondary school, somebody that did not pass secondary school, somebody that never understood the dynamics and the issue of security, and they be claiming to be experts. So when they are bringing issues now, that's why people like us, when we read comments, we look at who is commenting. You understand? So, but that's why we're talking about these small guys or these. Well, I think we know the position of plebiscite, right? When we are talking of serious issues of governance. So let's just leave it like that way.
Thank you, Mr. Mira. Thank you for always finding time to join me on the show every Thursday and to also share from your wealth of experience as we bring up conversation around leadership and politics today. But one thing is this, all through maybe from late last year till today, I'm not sure if we've had a month that we've not had to focus on Rivers State. It has been from one case, one issue, one interpretation, one analysis to the other.
Listen, economic importance of that state to even our own economic, that the issue of the individual crisis were not properly handled in the First Republic. I think made Nigeria to suffer, I think, what we never thought. Imagine we did not have that coup of January 16, 1960. When Western region was greater than many European countries. Where Western Nigeria, I think, is a rubbing shoulder to shoulder with France. Where Western Nigeria, I think, that countries like Japan, Korea, India cannot stand side by side with the Western region. Where countries like Qatar, all these United Emirates were like a kitchen or small boys to Nigeria. We are talking of at a time when the king of Saudi was coming to UCH Ibadan for medication. That all the African countries were coming for medication. We are talking of a country where you say region then, when we had WNTV. That time, 7 European countries have not had television. At that time, we are talking at a time when they commissioned the Liberty Stadium in Ibadan, that it was rivaling with Wembley Stadium of London, that everybody throughout the world coming to see. We are talking of a country when the Western region built Cocoa House, that all the leaders of Africa came. At least before they could look at the place, they had to remove their cap. Because you understand? When Western region was paying the civil servants higher than the federal government. Yes, when Western region even borrowed World Bank money, there are records of this. You understand? And when they saw the corners of Southeast thriving, moving, not like never before. So if we never had military incursion, can you imagine? Can we be talking of this power play we are talking now? Can we be talking of what means what should not be discussed at this level? Nigeria, India was far. Can we talk of Nigeria, Brazil? Nigeria was greater than Brazil at that time. So the military came, I think, and drew us back 100 years back to primitive age. We are still yet to recover from it. So what is the point we are talking about? Are the advantages what we got from the military, which we have not resolved. Nigeria is going to be truly democratic. And that's the culture of the military. You see the mentality of some of our leaders up to now. So they don't want that physical trigger when it comes to really. And that's what we are experiencing. So we pray that we don't allow the issue of River State to cause another crisis in this cause. That's why we're begging everybody concerned that no, let's go beyond court to find a final solution to this matter. We love this country.
Thank you. And let me let you go now. And I enjoyed the rest of your Thursday evening. And once again, thank you very much for finding time to join me on the show today. Thank you. I'll pick your calls and I will also read your messages. It's an amazing time. It's Thursday, and then Mr. Mᴜyɪᴡᴜ joins me. Wow. And I'm sure you've heard already that the Senate had screened and confirmed the 7 ministerial nominees that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu forwarded to the chamber yesterday. Minister of State for Education, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Minister of Humanitarian and Poverty Reduction, a few other people that have been forwarded to the House have all been cleared by the Senate. Let's see how much they can help the president to drive home his renewed hope agenda, as the administration is, halfway into the second year, and a lot of questions are still being asked. Where is the direction of this administration? Things are tough. The people are struggling to keep body and soul together. And hopefully this new blood, this fresh mind can make some level of difference from what we have on ground right now. 0913600410. Let me pick your calls. Hello, good evening.
Okay, good evening.
You're welcome.
Good evening. Yeah, you have a Pagmadi. I'm calling from Sango.
Good to have you.
Yeah, I've listened to Mr. Mᴜyɪᴡ, and I quite agree with most of his pronouncements. I just have some other few reservations.
Please go on.
So the reservation I have is that, by and large, we are being governed by the rule of law, and this problem started when these people in Niger River State, the ethnic group of the governor, started to instigating not to honor the agreement, claiming that they have all the power to do and undo with Wike. I'm not in support of anybody, but when we are in a lawful country, if a court goes at any stage and say you should do this, you should be able to follow that court judgment. He would have presented that budget to his 27 people to just pass. They won't touch him. That is, we have been the beginning of reconciliation. The issue of oil. I want you to know that President Tinubu will not go the way Yar'Adua and Buhari went during their regime. If you notice, you will see that the Yar'Adua government, they gave this militant in the Niger Delta ample time to build up arms. Just like Buhari gave the terrorists in the north to build up arms. Since it started 8 years. So the insecurity we have now in both regions, the north and the Niger Delta, Tinubu.
Apologies for that. If you are lucky, you can still join us. 0913600410. Let me read some of your messages on Facebook. And this one says, the issue of River State should be handled with utmost respect. Hence, else, the economy of Nigeria in the area of petroleum would go further down. I think I agree with you, Adebayo Samson Adewumi. Chris in Wallen says, it is unfortunate that Wike has been beating the drums of war since he left River State as governor, and from all indications, it seems not to care if the state goes up in flames. I wonder why he should consider his personal interest above that of the people of Rivers. You should realize that the resources of Rivers State belongs to the people of Rivers and not him. And why is President Tinubu watching while Wike is heating up a Rivers State? If anything outward should happen to Rivers State, both Barrister Wike and President Tinubu should be held responsible, because Wike is working for President. Okay, Chris Nwalem. Those are allegations, by the way. Kabira Adegbero says, good evening to you and your guest. I was in Port Harcourt during the local government election in the state, and I can tell you for a fact that no development has been going on in the state since the crisis started. Elders from the state should come out and find solutions to the crisis so people can enjoy dividends of democracy. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Mainland FM.
Hello, good evening.
Good to have you join us.
This is Kenny from Wushi.
Okay, you have the floor, Mr. Kenny.
Mr. Amonwa has said extensively to the issue at hand. An issue of rivers. I always maintain I can. Multiple things are found ways to our problem. It's two ways. Okay, it's not only the problem. Fubara also complicates the whole problem. And living in the rule of law.
I'm struggling to hear you. I'm really struggling to hear you. I want to read more messages. This one says, your guest has spoken well. I don't get to miss your Thursday shows. On the issue of River State, the president would need to step in and calm some of these issues. And I know the only person that can speak to Wike right now is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If River State should burn, the country would feel it. Thank you. That is Festus from Ikorodu. Hello, Farah. Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Good evening,
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. Let me just go straight to the point. The issue for Asari Dokufu, that if Fubara is being removed, life and property, they don't mean anything to them. That is it. The whole be gone. Many lives have been lost through them, many property. So, whatever anything is saying is recouping the people peradventure Fubara is being removed. What they are not expecting, but we pray that we not come to that. But another issue, I'm looking for Justice Ǩeƙirie. During 2 months.
Ufoma, I think the network had not just been very kind to us today. On the issue of the chief of staff, there's no way any person, not to talk of an organization, will allow any vacuum in its security system, be you or me. Dikin Tayo Daudu from Surulere. Okay, thank you very much. You also said you see the issue of River State is subject of politics. Fubara has made a lot of mistakes. Either you take it or leave it. There's no way you bite the finger that has fed you. Forget about those that are talking. If Fubara is impeached, all of them will change allegiance and support who is leading the state, because it's a matter of who can pay the stakeholders. It's beyond the president, because the president has called Fubara in the first instance, but he failed to listen because he thought those yearnings would save him. Okay, mind you, you can't compare River situation with Lagos State because it's a different thing entirely. Okay, thank you very much. This one says, please, is politics about illegality subsuming institutions, including judiciary, to score a point? Wike has completed his 8 years. What structure of criminality is he defending, using the taxpayers' money to procure? Please, let's be patriotic in our analysis. No one is more Nigerian than the other. It is analysis like this that brought us to where we are today. Pardon my sincere submission, and that is why Mr. Mᴜyɪᴡso's submission is neither here or there. Let us strengthen out the crooked path. Nigeria is really struggling to stay afloat. Temidayo from Idimu, Lagos. Thank you very much. This one says, good evening everyone. Your guest has spoken well, but Fubara needs to know that the people in River State don't exactly rate him like they did to Wike. By the way, he was never in line to be governor. It was a choice of the governor. So they say, if you want to eat with the devil, your spoon must be long. Okay, and that is Ayola from Bagada. Thank you very much. More messages coming in, but we're pressed for time. Tomorrow is Friday, and it's going to be the first edition of the show for the month of November. Let's see how it goes. We've had a really loaded week on the show, all the way down from Monday to where we are today. We'll just have a guest briefly tomorrow, and then we'll have time to discuss some of the issues that we've covered all through the week. The conversation around the River State, around the the scrapping or the remodeling of the Ministry of Niger Delta that has generated a lot of controversies. the newly, appointed ministers that have been screened and approved by the Senate, and the issue of the Chief of Army Staff, acting Chief of Army Staff. Let's hear all of that. I will form our Friday discussion on the show. My name is Oᴏᴜᴜ Akinle. Thank you so much, Mr. Mᴜyɪᴡ Adéyẹmí, for joining me on the show today. The chief political editor at Guardian newspaper was my guest from 4 o'clock to 5:15. Thank you. And to everyone, stay safe. By 5:30, the news would come up, and by 6 o'clock, I would come back to take you through the world of sport on Sport Cruise. Keep your eye locked only on Mainland 98.3 FM, because we are the sound of Lagos. Have a very beautiful evening.
Mainland 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial. 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial.
This is the Global News on 98.3 Mainland FM.